What's going on, guys? It's Eddie, and today I'm gonna rank the best Premier League signings this summer. These rankings were made by the score, so I'm just gonna review these things. So in the 10th place we have Fabian Delph to Everton. I think he's a pretty good player. He can play as a left back, he can play as a center defensive midfielder, and his value is obviously 8.5 million pounds. He's not the most expensive player, but he's still a pretty good solid defender. He's still 29 years of age, even though I thought that he's 35 or over that age. And I think that he will bring a lot to Everton because he has that championship mentality, because he won some titles, some Premier League titles with Man City, and he's still not the oldest player. And he will play alongside new teammate Andrew Gomez, who just joined the Everton from Barcelona. He spent his last season with Everton, but he was on loan from Barca. Now they bought him, I believe, for around something like 50-20 million. I don't remember, but he can play as a left back and as a center defensive midfielder, so you can rotate the squad, and it is very crucial for the side like Everton because they obviously gonna try their best to qualify for Europa League or for the Champions League. But I think it's not the best player, but I think that I think that he will give something incredible to this team, and especially the best thing that he has is his experience. So hopefully Everton will do something good, and I hope that he will show that he's still capable of doing all these things that he was capable of doing when he was young. So in the 9th place we have Tyrone Mings to Aston Villa. He's still a very good player, even though his last season was not that good, but he played some good games. He also had some horrific games, but now he looks that he improved as a player. His mentality is better. His mindset has changed a lot because he used to play for Bournemouth, and when he played for Bournemouth, he looked like he's not the best player, and he needs to play for a championship side. But now he will play in the Premier League with Aston Villa, and his value is obviously not obviously. His reported fee is 20 million pounds, so he can play as a center back. You can also use him as a right back, as a left back. So it is obviously a very big part in football when you can use a player in a lot of different positions. A lot of players, they can only play in one separate position, and this guy is obviously amazing. And hopefully he will have an incredible season. So in the 8th place we have Moise Kean. He just joined Everton from Juventus. The reported fee was 25 million pounds. His position, he is obviously a forward. He is only 19 years of age, and he had an incredible second half of the season for Juventus. He scored a lot of goals in Serie A. He also played a very good football in the Champions League, even though they lost in the quarterfinals to Ajax. But a lot of teams wanted this young guy, especially Milan and a lot of other Italian clubs, but he joined Everton. I don't know if it was his decision, but I think he wanted to join Everton because he knew that he will get some playing time in the squad, and that the squad is not the best. So now they're gonna have Richarlison and Moise Kean on the same team. So I think that they might do a very good job. And obviously he's a very good finisher, a very good dribbler, very quick on the counterattacks, and I think that he will fit in this team, and he will show everyone that even though he's young, he can play in the Premier League. So in the 7th position we have Ndombele from Tottenham. He just joined this club from I believe from Olympique Lyon, I believe, and the reported fee was 55 millions. His position is midfielder. He is still a young player, only 22 years of age, and he's a very strong. He can play as a center defensive midfielder, as a center midfielder, and he can defend. He can also attack, and his stamina is obviously very good because I saw some games. I saw him playing. I saw him play in League One, and he had those incredible games, and he made a lot of tackles, a lot of great passes. His vision is incredible, and he looks like he's playing football for around 20 years because he's just so good on the ball, and he knows how to dribble and where to go, and he's absolutely an incredible player, and he's a very good replacement for Moussa Dembele, who just left the club. I believe he left the club 6 months ago in the January transfer window, and I think that he's gonna destroy every single center midfielder in the Premier League because even though he's young, his physicality and mentality is very good, and he looks like he is just Yeah, and it looks like that he's playing football for around 20 years, as I said before. So in the sixth place we have Sebastian Haller. He played for Frankfurt Eintracht. Now he joined West Ham. Reported fee was 45 million pounds. His position obviously is forward, and he's 25 years of age, and he is a striker obviously, and he will be a very good he will be a very good player, obviously, because they had a lot of strikers over the years and none of them played a good football, so now finally a good player comes, and hopefully he will destroy the Premier League as well, because he's tall, his physical stats are amazing, he's very good on the ball, and he has a very good shot, and he also has very good headers, obviously, because he's tall, and he has also a very great vision, because when I watch Europa League games when Frankfurt, even though Frankfurt lost in the semifinals against Chelsea, he was one of the best players alongside Kostic and Jovic, and he's only 25 years of age, so he still has a lot in the future. He's a very good player for the Premier League. He just needs some time to adapt to all these conditions and to this new team. So in the fifth place we have David Luiz, who just joined Arsenal on the last day of the transfer window. He joined this club from Chelsea. Reported fee was only 8 million pounds, so it is obviously a bargain. And his position is center back, and he's not the youngest player, but he's still capable of those good defensive things. He can still do the job, and I think he's even better than Mustafi, and even though he's younger, and Holding and Mavropanos, they only have a very good center back in Socrates. So David Luiz with Socrates, these two center backs will be a very huge force in the Premier League, and I think it is going to be tough for any team to break this defensive line. And now when they signed Kieran Tierney from Celtic, this team is even more aggressive and even more better. Plus this guy, a new right back from, not a new right back, he got injured last season, I believe, and he was out for all the season, but now he's back. Bellerin, yes, so he is a Spanish right back who just came back and from that serious injury, and I believe he will play against Newcastle on Sunday. So their backline looks amazing. So I think they will. I think that they will finish in that top four, and because they have a pretty good squad. And in the fourth place we have Yuri Tielemans, who just joined Leicester City. Obviously, Leicester City bought him this season because last season he played for Leicester, but he was on loan from AS Monaco. Now he joined them officially. The fee was 40 million pounds. Position is obviously midfielder. He's only 22 years of age, and he still has a very bright future in front of him. And and Leicester City will probably gonna use Wilfred Ndidi in that center defensive midfield, and this guy will probably gonna play as a center midfielder. So it is going to be a midfielders partnership, and I think he will do a pretty good job because he's still a young player, and he's obviously from Belgium, and they have a pretty good football academy. So I think that he will dominate that midfield, even though he's that young. And in the third place, we have Giovanni Lo Celso, who just joined Tottenham from, I believe, Real Betis, for around 55 million pounds. He's a midfielder who can play as a cam, as a center midfielder. He can also play sometimes on the wings, and he's 23 years of age. He's from Argentina. He had an outstanding season in Real Betis last season in La Liga. He had so many good games, and now he joined one of the best clubs in England, Tottenham, who play, and obviously we all know that Tottenham played in the Champions League final, so it is obviously a very good push in his career, and hopefully he will succeed. And in the second position we have Nicolas Pepe, who just joined Arsenal from Lost Clearly, who had also an outstanding season. They came, I believe, in that second position in League One, and he's a winger. The reported fee was 72 million pounds, and he's still he is also a very young player, only 24 years of age, and he will play a very attacking football as well because he has a good dribbling, he has good passing, he has a very good shooting abilities, and I think that we're gonna have this season, we're gonna have a very good speed combination between Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Alexander Lacazette. And now when they added this young Nicolas Pepe, I think that this front three will be deadly. And I think that Arsenal, they have to be in that top 4, because if they will be in that 6th position, in 7th or 5th position, it is going to be a huge failure for this club. Obviously they still have a chance to win the Europa League, and if they're gonna win the Europa League, they will play in the Champions League. But I think they should be able to be in that top 4 this season. And the first place we have Rodri, who just joined Man City from Atletico de Madrid. The reported fee, I believe, was 62.8 million pounds. He's obviously a midfielder who can play as a center defensive midfielder and as a center midfielder, and he is a very good player who is very good when he needs to play with the ball. His distribution skills are amazing. He has a very good football IQ. His passing is incredible, and what's the most important thing, that he can defend and he can play with the ball. And it is just an amazing replacement for Fernandinho, who was very old, but he played so many great seasons for City, and he won a lot of Premier League titles with this club. But now the new young player came into this club, and I think they're gonna win the Premier League once again. Even though I'm a Liverpool fan, but I still think that they're very good. They're a very good team, and I think that now when they signed João Cancelo for around 58 million, I believe, and Rodri, and they're just spending those money every single transfer window, and they're improving their squad even more. I think that they're the favorites to win the title 3 years in a row. And I don't know how they're gonna do in the Champions League, because they're always expecting a lot of things from that tournament, but I think they're gonna fail again because they don't have that experience, even though they're playing in the Premier League, and they're always winning this championship, but they can't do good in the Champions League, because there are just a lot of good teams that have a lot of maybe they have those other teams, they have a bit more experience than City, and they're always losing those games like kids, so it's kind of strange that City can't even play in the finals. But we'll see how it goes. And so the Premier League starts this weekend, and the first game is obviously today. Arsenal. Liverpool is playing against Norwich City. My prediction is that Liverpool gonna win this game like 3-0, because they're playing, I believe, at home at Anfield. So the fans are excited, all the players are excited, all players are fit. Obviously Norwich City is newly promoted side who will play in the Premier League after 3 years. So I think they might play some good football. Because this is just a start, but I'm not saying that this game for Liverpool gonna be easy, because it is the start. They will be nervous, because if they're not gonna score until the second half, they might get nervous, and Norwich, who knows, maybe they will score in a counter attack, and then Liverpool gonna lose, and everything might happen, because this is the first game of the season. But we'll see how it goes, because last season Liverpool, I believe, won 6 games in a row to start off the Premier League season, so it was a pretty good start. Hopefully they're gonna do the same this season. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. It's been a long time since I uploaded a video. I believe it was 6 months, but I had a lot of problems. I needed to end my university, my first year in university. Now I'm getting ready for the next year. I'm reading books, I'm getting ready. Plus my dad is very sick, so I need to take care of him, and I just don't have time to upload. But now I'm back once again. Hopefully guys will enjoy these videos. I'm gonna make a lot more this type of videos in the future. And so thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one very soon. Peace.